I love this song. This album knocked me out when I got it as a teenager. This is The Court of the Crimson King by King Crimson, Ian MacDonald, Robert Fripp, Michael Giles, Greg Lake, of course, and Pete Sinfield wrote lyrics for them. Played a little bit of stuff. Mostly, the song opens up, of course, with a mellotron playing that chorus part there. That really sweeping stuff sounds great. And then goes into this nice little guitar part that has got some spooky little harmonics and strange chord changes and things like that. In this, we just have a ton of stuff in this song. Some pretty fast cross picking. There we go. Which is how the third verse is done. Some harmonics, some notes you have to hold. We're going to talk about playing that opening part, what I consider the verse to the song, a few different ways, kind of depending on what feels better to you and also how you want it to sound. Greg Lake has been performing this for the last couple of years, again, resurrecting some early King Crimson songs, which is pretty cool. And he generally does the arpeggio thing over all the E minor chords. So we're going to talk about all the chords. We've got some slamming parallel octaves that we're going to talk about how to execute that. There's some unusual chords, or sort of normal chords, but we pull in. We really have to, on the guitar, pull that melody out and make it sound good. Something like that. Anyway, so we will be taking a look here. I've got tablature it's only 2 pages. There really isn't a lot of stuff for this 9-minute song. Something unusual happens at the end. There's a little tag where they play the chorus again in a different key, where we hear something like this. We're not going to bother with that because it's just a little rehash of what was going on before, but it does happen on the original album. Anyway, we'll talk about the picking, we'll talk about getting the chorus in there, and just some general fun stuff with The Court of the Crimson King. In the last segment we talked about cross picking. In this segment we're going to talk about what I call hybrid picking. Different people call this different things. And this is using the pick and your fingers to hit notes. Because what we're going to do here, if you take a look at the tab, what I have on the very beginning, we've got a low E in the bass, and then harmonics at the 12th fret of just the 3rd and the 1st strings, not all 3 of them. We're going to do that in the second measure. But in this first measure, we want to just hit the G, the 12th fret of the 3rd string, and the E, the 12th fret of the 1st string. And I'm going to use 2 fingers to pluck those. So hit that E in the bass with the pick, but then use your 2nd and 3rd fingers to hit those harmonics at the 12th fret. Now you could use the pick. You could come up and use the pick for one of them. If you have trouble using 2 fingers for that, use the pick on the G and your ring finger or your middle finger for the high one. So that's the way that measure is going to work. Then I'm going to talk about a couple different ways of doing this, and so the second half, which is virtually the same, the 3rd and 4th measures, I've got an alternate fingering choice. What I like to do here is keep both of those notes ringing, and then we need an F sharp back here at the 7th fret of the 2nd string. Now what I just did right there was I hit all 6 strings for every one of those notes. Now what we have here is parallel octaves, so 2 notes that are an octave apart. I'm playing the B here on the 5th fret of the A string, and the octave B on the 4th fret of the G string. But I'm putting my hand down in such a way that all the other strings are dead. This is going to take some practice. Now octaves on which I'll get to in just a second, some of the techniques. The octaves on these strings will be 2 frets apart because the strings are 2 strings and 2 frets apart. because the strings are tuned 5 frets apart. An octave is 12 frets. So if I go from the 5th fret, from the 5th string to the 4th string, that's the equivalent of 5 frets. If I go to the next string, that's the equivalent of 5. I need 2 more to get to an octave. So this is what octaves look like on the 5th and 3rd strings. Now, what I'm doing is laying my fingers down here so that they're all touching all kinds of stuff. Like right here, I've got my first finger angle. I'm not playing it clean with a nice arch like that. I'm kind of coming in, my first finger is almost laying on all the strings, but just pressing down hard on the 5th string. And it's lightly touching the 6th string with the tip. So I'm not playing the 5th string with the tip of my finger like I normally would. I'm a little bit more on the pad of it so that the tip is killing the 6th string. And right now, you can hear I've got the B clean, and that also is killing the 4th string. Which that's how the 4th string gets killed. So work on that in the first place. What these strings should sound like now is dead, B, dead. And I might even have dead all the way, but not here because I have a little bit of an arch to this. It doesn't matter. That's the other string I'm going to be playing. So really my first finger is doing most of the muting here. It's killing the 1st string and the 2nd string, although my 4th finger is helping kill the 2nd string too because I have this on at the same type of slightly weird angle.